Hey, if you're planning to wish for Chisa and bring her home, then you're absolutely in the right place. In this video, I'll break down exactly how her kit works, what makes her such a unique rhythm-based resonator, and how to properly build her from the ground up. Whether you're a veteran who wants to optimize her damage and healing potential, or a new player trying to understand her flow before spending your bowls, this guide will walk you through every step. By the end, you'll know not only how to play Chisa effectively, but also how to make her your centerpiece in any team. So grab your controller, get ready to rev up that chainsaw, and let's dive into the art of mastering Chisa. Yo! Welcome back to the channel, Kamusta sa inyong lahat. Chisa is for players who enjoy a technical kit that rewards mastery and precision. So if you decide you want to go and bring her home and need extra lunites and asterites, click the loot bar link down in my description and pinned comment for a massive saving of up to 25% and an additional 10% if you use my link. You can save on monthly lunite subscriptions, battle passes, and lunite top-ups. Loot Bar is trusted by thousands and thousands of Wuwa players with excellent Trustpilot scores. With their mobile DIY top-up, you can get the discounts without giving away your password. If you use my link in the description and pinned comments, you can get an additional 10% off your first purchase. So yeah, give it a try. And thank you Loot Bar for sponsoring this video. Let's continue. Chisa doesn't reward mashing, she rewards mastery. She's the kind of resonator that punishes impatience, but pays you back tenfold if you learn her rhythm. Every swing of her chainsaw, every burst of resonance energy ties into a system of precision and tempo. She's not about raw aggression, she's about control within chaos. The faster you learn her flow, the faster you'll start carving through enemies like they're made of paper. At the heart of Chisa's kit lies her ring of chainsaw mechanic. You generate it through normal attacks and resonance skills, then enter chainsaw mode to unleash Sawing Blitz. You'll feel the tempo ramp up, her movement syncing like beats in a track, before finishing with Sawing Eradication, her signature finisher that defines her as both artist and annihilator. The key is knowing when to transition. Use Moment of Nihility not just as a panic button, but as a tempo reset and heal. It's your way to breathe before diving back into the storm. Once you understand that cycle, build, burn, recover, repeat, you'll find that Chisa never really stops moving. Her gameplay becomes an endless chain of tension and release, where perfection feels both satisfying and inevitable. The moment you align your timing with her fever mechanic, it's pure power. When her chainsaw meter is full and you time her death snip and eradication perfectly, the game practically applauds you. That's when Chisa transforms from a character you control to one you conduct. Now when Chisa's concerto energy is full and she tags out, her outro skill activates. It doesn't directly add stacks, it's sneakier than that. What she does is leave behind a hidden modification on the enemy target. Normally, every kind of negative status effect in Wuthering Waves, Havoc Bane, Arrow Erosion, Spectral Frazzle, you name it, has a stack limit. 3, 5, depending on the debuff. It's a balanced little system. But then, Chisa walks in, shrugs, and says, "What if we made that 6?" Suddenly, your stacking mechanics just broke through the ceiling. Now let's talk weapons, because Chisa's entire damage ceiling depends on choosing the right blade for her rhythm. Her signature weapon isn't just statistically optimal, it feels designed around her kit's tempo. It gives an immediate 12% ATK boost, which already strengthens every slash of her chainsaw. But the real beauty lies in its passive. Each time you use her intro skill or apply a negative status, you gain an 8% Resonance Liberation damage buff, stacking up to 3 times for 15 seconds. These stacks build fast, rewarding an aggressive tempo where you're constantly cycling through abilities. When you reach the full 3 stacks, things get wild. Every time your allies inflict a negative status or deal damage related to it, the weapon grants a massive 24% bonus to all attributes for 15 seconds. This means her entire team benefits from her chaos, creating a feedback loop of boosts and mayhem. The effect can't stack with itself, but it doesn't need to. It's already absurdly strong. Tailor-made for Chisa's synergy-driven playstyle. This isn't just her best weapon, it's the one that turns her from a strong DPS into a rampaging storm of coordinated destruction. If you don't have her signature, don't panic. Wildfire Mark is a solid second-best option. It packs a crit damage substat and provides up to 24% liberation damage after you use her intro or resonance skill. Lustrous Razor from the standard banner is also a strong contender, granting attack substat with a liberation buff that scales up to 21% post-resonance skill. Verdant Summit rounds out the top picks, offering crit damage and a consistent 12% havoc damage bonus. And if you don't have any of these, the Battle Pass weapons are still reliable options that maintain her critical potential for a low-cost build. For Echoes, the upcoming Thread of Severed Fate set is your go-to. The 3-piece bonus gives you a 20% ATK increase and a 30% liberation damage bonus for 5 seconds whenever you inflict Havoc Bane. That synergy fits perfectly with Chisa's natural attack rhythm. For your main Echo, you'll want Reminiscence, Threnodian, Leviathan. It grants 12% Havoc damage and 12% Resonance Liberation damage in the main slot, enhancing every part of her rotation. For your secondary set, mix in any 2-piece Havoc set for an extra 10% damage bonus, because more Havoc damage means more destruction. Your 4-cost Echo should roll with crit stats, your 3-cost Echoes should focus on Havoc damage or ATK percentage, and your 1-costs should stack ATK percentage. As for your stat priority, you want crit rate first, then crit damage, followed by liberation, energy regen percent, and finally ATK percentage. Get that balance right, and you'll see her burst melt bosses in seconds. When leveling skills, the priority is clear. Start with her Resonance Liberation, then her Forte Circuit, followed by normal attacks, Resonance skill, and finally her intro skill. The Liberation defines her power spikes and directly scales with her overall damage output, while her Forte Circuit dictates how effectively she can loop her chainsaw mode. You'll want to invest early into Liberation because it scales her burst's core damage multiplier, increasing not just raw power, but also the rate at which she sustains her fever. Once that's maxed, enhancing the Forte Circuit allows for smoother transitions between her chainsaw states, reducing downtime and letting you maintain tempo longer in extended fights. Her normal attacks might seem basic, but upgrading them sharpens her ring of chainsaw generation and improves overall DPS consistency. The Resonance skill adds a layer of utility by feeding energy and setting up her core rotations, while the intro skill, though last in priority, can still offer minor buffs or debuffs that contribute to team synergy. Leveling in this order ensures that Chisa reaches her mechanical peak efficiently, optimizing both burst potential and floor management in every encounter. Do note that her healing comes from her normal attacks and liberation, so make sure to prioritize both if you want her to dish out heals for your team. If you're running her as a support in negative status comps, Arrow Erosion and Spectral Frazzle setups are her playground. In Erosion teams, she can replace Arrow Rover as the healer without breaking flow, keeping Shakona active as Cartathia's sub-DPS while maintaining tempo. In Frazzle comps, Zani and Phoebe both benefit massively from her healing and stacking buffs, turning the trio into a feedback loop of debuffs, damage, and recovery. It's chaos, but the beautiful kind, the kind Chisa thrives in. If you're not into negative status, you want allies who can buff her liberation damage or help sustain her energy flow. Chongli and Brant are top-tier partners. Brant keeps her consistent, while Chongli's buffs amplify her liberation to absurd levels. Yuno or Mortefi and Jianshin also make great combinations, especially for teams that rely on elemental resonance coordination. Yinling pairs well when you want to push her burst windows even harder, while Shorekeeper's defensive utility keeps Chisa alive long enough to hit her rhythm stride. And what about Frolova? Heck, Frolova works with anyone, so yeah, go for it. Pair them with Choi Wen and see massive damage. Now, people often speculate that she'll replace Rover, but the reality is even more interesting. she can actually step in for Phoebe and Siakona too. Her knack for doubling status effects means Rover can generate more spectral frazzle stacks, which Zani absolutely needs. Meanwhile, Arrow Rover can also double Cartathia's stacks from 6 to a whopping 12 Arrow Erosion stacks. This clever interaction allows you to stay in Fleur-de-Lis form without constantly switching back to Cartathia, letting the Arrow Erosion stacks drain naturally. By the time you need to use her ultimate, you'll already have the 6 necessary stacks, meaning you can trigger it effortlessly. It's a subtle but brilliant efficiency tweak, making team rotation smoother and letting players feel like tactical geniuses rather than button mashers. And if your Phoebe is your cup of tea, Chisa and Rover can buff her frazzle stacks even more, increasing her negative status damage. How cool is that? In terms of raw numbers, Chisa's rotation averages around 99,000 without crits, and about 223 to 250,000 with a full crit chain. Around 38% of that damage comes from chainsaw mode, perfectly timed around her liberation buffs. It's not some universe-ending power spike, but it's a small, spicy kick like adding chili flakes to an otherwise respectable bowl of ramen. Her liberation itself can crit for over 150,000, which is always a nice moment of, finally, something hit hard, especially since the rest of her kit sometimes feels like being gently nibbled by a dozen overly affectionate kittens. Thus, if you really want her to pop, some investment in sequences will help. Her sequences are not to turn her support better, they are designed to make her roar. Sequence 1. Chisa becomes immune to interruption during Soaring Blitz and Soaring Eradication. Applying Unseen Snare grants a clean set of benefits. Chisa's ATK rises by 30% for 15 seconds, and she deals a fixed 61,803 havoc damage. This effect can only bring the target down to 61.8% HP at most, and each target can only take this hit once. Sequence 2. Chisa ignores 10% of the enemy's havoc res when dealing damage. All nearby teammates caught in Thread of Vein receive a generous 50% all-attribute damage bonus, instantly making her more valuable in coordinated setups. Sequence 3. The damage multipliers of Soaring Blitz and Soaring Eradication are greatly enhanced, gaining a 120% increase that stacks with Woven Myriad Convergence. When the Ring of Chainsaw is consumed, Soaring Eradication gains an additional 120% multiplier, also stacking with Convergence. Both Blitz and Eradication gain a 50% increase to their vibration strength reduction rate, boosting their ability to tear through tougher targets. Sequence 4. Unseen Snare evolves. Whenever a target marked by it takes damage, Chisa applies 1 stack of Havoc Bane. This can trigger once per second, enabling a consistent buildup that benefits longer fights and multi-hit rotations. Sequence 5. Her Resonance Liberation, Moment of Nihility, gains a full 100% damage bonus. Additionally, Life Thread Glide now costs 50% less Life Thread Jetstream, making her mobility smoother and more forgiving in sustained combat. Sequence 6. If Chisa would fall during Soaring Blitz or Soaring Eradication, she instead clings to life with at least 1 HP, allowing her to finish her attack string like an anime protagonist refusing to die before the final punch lands. Unseen Snare transforms again into Unseen Snare Finality, keeping all previous effects while amplifying vulnerability. Targets afflicted take 30% more damage from negative statuses and 40% more damage specifically from Chisa herself, giving her late chain scaling a sharp and satisfying spike. What you want is to get her S3 for a solid sub-DPS build and S5 for a full DPS build. S6 increases her personal survivability and makes her DPS even solider. The truth is, building Chisa isn't about stacking stats or copying a spreadsheet. It's about understanding her philosophy. She's a resonator that rewards commitment, precision, and musical timing. You don't brute force her gameplay, you groove into it. Once you master her flow, once you stop seeing her kit as buttons and start feeling it as rhythm, she becomes unstoppable. And when you hear that chainsaw rev up mid-combat and see your enemies vanish before the final note hits, you'll realize that Chisa isn't just a character, she's an experience. If this video resonated with you, please leave a like and subscribe. Ring that bell for massive version 2.8 gotcha luck. Thank you so much for watching, maraming salamat po, and I will see you in my next video drop. Goodbye!